Hello and welcome to the ID Talk podcast. My name is Peter Counter and I am the editor-in-chief of FindBiometrics, where we are dedicated to providing guidance and leadership in digital identity and access management. And that's why I am pleased to present a three-part ID Talk special event presented with HID Extended Access Technologies. In part 2 of this series, I interview HID's Todd Seeley about verification and authorization in finance. It's a fascinating conversation that sheds light on a crucial area in identity and access. So without further ado, here is my conversation with HID's Todd Seeley on the ID Talk podcast. I'm joined by Todd Seeley, Business Area Project Manager at HID Global, and today we are talking about verification and authorization in finance. Todd, thank you for joining me on ID Talk.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
So when we talk about customer-facing issues of identity technologies in finance, user experience is premium. How do you find the balance between convenience and security in the customer verification process?
Well, first of all, the balance between convenience and security is really not looked at from what I see today. It's almost always seen as taking out my driver's license, another set of identification, making sure that I am who I am. So I see that as being convoluted and a time process that is not really required. I think with implementing other technologies, we can really address security and convenience at the same time and make sure that I can walk into a banking organization not even carrying my wallet and proving who I am, especially if I'm already a customer at the bank. And that's what I think banks should really focus on.
Absolutely. It's moving towards a much more frictionless arena there. You know, in the financial sector, the core concepts and technologies of customer verification have quite a bit of overlap with employee authorization. How do user experience and security priorities shift when we look at employee-facing applications of strong identity technology in finance?
Well, the way I see it is there are many ways that or many things that banks are facing now from threats from fraud, etc. And a lot of times I see that banking institutions need to have signatures and actually traceability of who touches an account or specific information. In employing like biometric technologies, proving, irrefutably proving that the employee actually looking and entering information and accessing a record is going to be more and more important as we move forward. So just like you see strong identity, making sure that they are present at the terminal of which they're accessing the information, etc., is the same as an employee-facing application as it is for a customer-facing application.
You briefly mentioned fraud there, and my next question is, what are the major fraud threats in the financial sector now, and how can the technologies that we're talking about address them on both the customer and institutional sides of the financial process?
Well, I'm not going to get into phishing attacks and the threats that are coming in, cyber threats. I'm not going to address those, but I'm going to be saying, internal employee fraud, matching with customer, and I don't expect any banking institution to actually state that these threats are there or actually publicly acknowledge many of them. But as legislation changes as we move forward to be able to prove out the identity, that the person is there actually in person, irrefutable to conduct a banking transaction, this is where biometrics comes into play very, very easily, facing both convenience and security simultaneously.
HID Biometrics offers secure and convenient customer and employee identification. This next-level authorization tool isn't a futuristic dream. It's proven and already being used in banks throughout Latin America and the entire world, and will soon be expected by discerning customers concerned with the ever-present threat of fraud. Unfortunately, choosing a biometrics provider can be difficult, thanks to different standards of service, security, software, and simplicity. Considering these issues during the selection process ensures success from the start and gets you on the path to a more secure, simpler future. With a broad portfolio of biometric solutions and deep expertise in the world of identity management, HID Global is available to help at any stage of your biometric journey. Stay connected, stay secure. Get started with HID Global today by visiting hidglobal.com/authentication-technologies. And now, back to the podcast. And there's a wave of digital transformation that's underway across all industries right now. And it's being accelerated thanks to coronavirus safety measures. The financial service providers seem to be ahead of the curve right now since they've been at the forefront of biometrics adoption and mobile-only thinking for many, many years. But my question is, what challenges remain for financial institutions in terms of transitioning to a safe and secure identity and access management system?
A banking institute in transitioning to a safe and secure identity access management system, I think that the public thinks and believes that the banking scenarios are safe. They at least provide us protection from fraud ourselves, so they don't impact our personal lives, our livelihoods, and our families. So I think that that's more of a cyber threat. The only threats that we see now in transitioning is how do they enroll, take in the biometric identity, manage that within their systems to ensure that I'm the only one accessing my account, or someone on the other side whom I am entrusting to access my account, that they actually have that traceability in place. So ultimately, I think it's more of the implementation of the user experience as it comes to security and convenience that is on the forefront of consumers' minds today.
Mm-hmm. And staying on this note of digital transformation, how do you expect the financial sector to evolve in the coming years thanks to ID verification and authorization technologies?
Well, as we see many places move to mobile ID, we see a couple of points in North America, a couple of states just dabbling into mobile ID, but other countries going full force into mobile ID. I think that as we grow and match other technologies such as biometrics to it, et cetera, and really drive to the mobile device, that will greatly improve the overall authorization of not only employees but customers moving into the financial sector and transacting within the financial sector and institutions.
Fantastic. Well, Todd, thank you so much for joining me again on the ID Talk podcast. This has been a pleasure. I've learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
And so concludes my conversation with HID's Todd Seeley. To learn more about the topics in this episode and to take the next step to safe, secure, and privacy-first finance, contact Danielle Stevens, Inside Sales Representative at HID Global Extended Access Technologies. You can phone Danielle at 512-574-2693 or email her at danielle.stevens@hidglobal.com. That's DANIELLE.STEPHENS@hidglobal.com. I would like to thank Todd again for joining me in this episode. Stay tuned to ID Talk for the next episode in the series when I speak to HID's Oriel Turo about employee authentication in healthcare. Our podcast theme music is by Logomrad. I have been your host, Peter Counter. Thank you for listening to the ID Talk podcast.